And we are live. Welcome to the latest installment of Post-Match Show. As you can see, our usual host, Chris, isn't here. He has important family matters to attend to. Prioritizing, of course, no harm. But I do have with me this week Greg Robson, who's very kindly joined me this week. Greg, I reckon you're got to be pretty happy with that result of performance today.
Yeah. Good evening, Irish Tom. Pleased with it. As I said to you off air, I thought we was going to get a result today. I felt confident even after the Everton result, and I said it on here. I think last week or the week before when Don was on here, I said I fancy us to get something at Leicester. That was, I think, straight after the Wolves game or before the Wolves game, and I just felt a bit confident today. I don't know what it was. I know the team's going to change. And I even had a bet for us to win 3-2. I don't know what it was. Just felt a bit confident today. And the way we started, I felt we looked good. And Leicester didn't threaten. And the longer the game went on, obviously I felt more confident. But over the moon, the result. Now looking for, well, we've got the international break now, but we're on a bit of a winning roll now in the league, 2 out of 2. So it would have been nice to have actually gone to Tottenham next week. I know they're doing well this afternoon, but it would have been nice to go to Tottenham next week on the back of two wins, no goals conceded, 7 scored. We got into the time full of confidence.
Yeah, there actually was a little bit of confidence going around today from certain sections of the fan base. I would be lying if I said I was one of them. Despite the fact we beat Wolves 4-0, last week, I still felt, in Leicester we were dealing with a different kind of animal, and given that they'd put 5 past City last week and they were at home, I was a little bit sceptical that we could follow up on a 4-0 against Wolves with another win away to Leicester. More shame me, I guess. But Steve, welcome to the broadcast. And,
thank you very much.
Just give us your initial thoughts on what you saw today from the team.
I thought we were excellent. Good shape to the side. Good formation. I thought Antonio was absolutely outstanding. How he's not getting into the England squad is beyond me. But it's good for us because it means that he can rest up for a fortnight before we go to there in a fortnight's time. I think we were lucky that Maddison wasn't playing because I really rate Maddison. And, I think we were lucky that he wasn't playing. I think we did play well, but I think Maddison not playing kind of helped us.
Yeah, definitely. He's a quality player. He's actually a player that before he went to Leicester that I was kind of waxing lyrical about on Twitter. I was hoping that we would sign him actually, and from Norwich, and he's a quality player. I don't know what the story is with him or why he didn't play. I mean, he didn't even come off the bench today. I don't know why exactly.
He had a problem with his calf today. But, Maddison's one of those that we should have been looking at before Leicester. This is one of the bugbears that I have with West Ham. Well, many bugbears that we just don't look to the Championship enough. I know we did with Bowen. But there's far too many Championship players that have gone to competitors this year. People like Eze, people like Watkins, Cash at Forest, he went to Villa. And really, we've got to be looking at that market to try and get some players in. And the fact that we haven't this summer is quite disappointing.
Yeah, well, by 11 p.m. tomorrow, that'll be the only market left open to us. So, fingers crossed we can get someone in. But as regards today's game, it's fair to say I think the formation that Moyes has switched to now with the 3 centre backs and the wing backs,
it works.
It's working a treat. I mean, it
just
suits certain players.
Yeah.
Cresswell as a right back just can't do it, or as a left back just can't do it anymore. He can't get up and down the pitch. He can't get forward, get involved in attacks, cross the ball, and be able to get back to fulfill his defensive duties.
Yeah.
So having him as the left centre back, he can concentrate largely on defending. And when he gets forward, he doesn't have to be bombing down the wing. He's got Masuaku to do that now. And speaking of Masuaku, he can't defend whatsoever as a right back. But in that wing back role, he really excels when he has that defensive help behind him. And you could go on. Fornell's not a left midfielder, and whenever he's played as a conventional winger on the left, he hasn't looked great. He's been out of the game a bit. He works his socks off, but he hasn't been able to get involved in attacks and really hurt opponents. But now, because Masuaku was there bombing past him on his left, he can come in field a bit more and really supplement the attack. So this formation, I think, has looked absolutely fantastic.
Yep, I agree with that, and you stay with it. You stay with it. You know, they've got to stay with it when we go to Tottenham in a couple of weeks' time. They've got to keep the same formation.
Yeah, given what Tottenham are doing to Man United at the moment.
To be honest, I haven't seen any of the game because I've been downstairs looking after my two kids, cooking them dinner. So you know, I understand that one of the United players got sent off for virtually nothing from what I've just read. So, but you know, when we play Tottenham, it doesn't. You know, all the form goes out the window. It's just a one-off game. You know, it's like a cup game when we play them. So, you know, I'm not too bothered about what they're doing today. They don't interest me.
Yeah, we'll stick to today. We'll worry about Tottenham in a couple of weeks. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, look, we got off to a great start today. You know, we got ahead early, and that was absolutely brilliant work from Antonio, Greg.
Magnificent.
It was, yeah. Another 10 out of 10 performance by Antonio today. I feel sorry for Haller. I'd like to see him, you know, in there somewhere. But he's, as I say, another 10 out of 10 performance. He runs his socks off and all that, gives you 100%. You know that's what you're going to get from him all the time. You know, I'd love somebody up top with him. It just seems, you know, I'd like to see him last a 90. He probably could last a 90, but he's, you know, you're going to get a shift from Mikel Antonio. That's all you can ask for. That's all we ask for any West Ham player. Win, lose or draw, put in a shift for us and we're happy, you know what I mean? Getting a win, especially in a away win's a bonus. But no, as I agree with Steve, I think he's a bit unlucky not to be called up for the England squad, to be honest with you. I know he was last season or the season before.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He's in a rich vein of form. I think he scored, I think Cameron was saying it, 12 goals in his last 9 league games. That's incredible. Any other striker would be in the England squad, but I think he's unlucky that Danny Ings is on fire as well.
Yeah.
And Calvert-Lewin as well.
Yeah, he's actually scored more goals than any other player in the Premier League since the kind of restart after the COVID thing.
Yeah.
So he's absolutely on fire. And Steve, I mean, looking at today's game again, I mean, he just absolutely bullies defenders for 90 minutes and must be an absolute nightmare to play against.
It's I think he's just getting better and better. I mean, his hold-up play is improving, and he is a beast. He's an absolute physical beast. He's built like a boxer. And, you know, I don't care what anybody says. I mean, any centre-half waking up in the morning knowing they've got to come up against Mikey, they ain't going to want it. They ain't going to fancy it. And he's just fantastic. I mean, he's so much improved. I mean, I'll always... My opinion is I'll always try and find a place for him in the team. Kind of like you can't not play him because he's playing central. But you know, I would like to see Haller played, and I would like to see Mikey moved out wide at some stage. But I just don't think you can do it now. I just think that for our next league game, you've got to go unchanged. You've got to go the same system. It's working. We've beat 2 very, very good teams. You know, you just got to go again with it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the old adage, Steve and Tommy. You don't change a winning side. I know it's an old-fashioned cliche, but exactly, it breeds confidence. You like drop 2 or 3 players and all that. You know, you keep a winning side. Whenever you win, keep a winning side. If everyone's fit for the next game.
Yep.
Speaking of which, we did actually make a change today, which was an interesting one. Johnson made way for our new boy.
Yeah,
I believe it's pronounced Sofal, even though it's spelled Kufal or Sufal or whatever. whatever way you want to pronounce it. Steve, what did you think of his debut today? I mean, we just signed him a couple of days ago. He got thrown in at the deep end. You know, away to Leicester isn't an easy debut,
no.
and I thought he did really well.
Well, we weren't, you know, got to give. I mean, I don't know how they went about buying him, but you've got to give them credit at least for this. They've bought an experienced pro that's played in the Champions League. You know, he looks solid. I mean, I like my fullbacks to defend first and foremost, and I think that's a facet of the modern game that you don't get too much now. So first of all, he did his job properly, which was defending. And then when he got forward, he looked half decent, and you can't ask for no more than that. You know, you just can't. So he was solid. He did a job. He looked experienced, and that's really what we need. I think in those areas we need experience, and we need people to do their jobs properly.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, I absolutely was jumping around, shouting to answer the question. 100%. That was a massive result.
Huge.
So yeah, great. Obviously, the opening goal really was just a fantastic goal. Brilliant work, as we say, from Antonio out on the right wing to win the free kick, then the quick thinking to spray the ball across to Cresswell, who put in an unbelievable deep cross onto the far post, and who was there, having been fouled in midfield, waiting for it at the far post, only Mikel Antonio. Just a really good goal there. Another goal where there was some quick thinking, same as we saw against Wolves with Fornals taking the quick free kick. We saw the same again, and just a really nice goal that caught Leicester really on the hop.
Well, that's what we've been missing. I'd say for the last few games, but before the season ended and all that, like Cresswell, like getting in balls like that, he puts in some lovely balls. But as Steve was saying just now, you need players, or sorry, the defenders that can defend, right back, left back. That's where you got to start and build from. And Cresswell, in the last couple of seasons, he hasn't been doing that. Since he got that injury pre-season, he's not come back the same player. But when he puts in balls like that, they're unplayable. Just getting them behind the defenders, and Antonio rose like a salmon. But saying that, I feel that Schmeichel, and maybe because Cameron was a goalkeeper, I'm being a bit critical here, but I think Schmeichel could have done a bit better with that. But I'm not complaining. He put us one up and on the road to a brilliant victory. But no, brilliant ball from Cresswell, and he played well today. As long as the others played well as well, so we can't knock anyone today in the side.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I think going 1-0 up relatively early kind of really set us on our way. To get that early goal, get the lead. Our players' tails were up, and not too long after, Steve, a booted ball forward from Cresswell and caught the Leicester defenders, who were playing a high line, completely napping.
Yeah.
And Fornals just ghosted in behind him, and they had no idea he was there on the way through, and a brilliant first touch and a really tidy finish from him. And we were kind of in dreamland at that point.
Well, yeah, very much so. I mean, and you take, I was just about to say that. I mean, the first touch from Fornals actually made the goal, and then he's clear on goal. And listen, I'm not knocking it, but again, I don't think Schmeichel covered himself in too much glory at the near post. But I'm glad Fornals scored, because it's good to see that he's played well in the last two games. Because I think he was one of those that might have been losing his place. So I'm glad that he's kicking on, because he is a quality player. I did see him play for Spain in the under-21 tournament a couple of years ago. He's a good technical player, and hopefully he carries on. I just think
that's
he needs
why
to
I think this new that's why I think this new formation suits him. When he was being played as an out-and-out left winger, he kind of had to hug the touchline, and he had to stay out there because he had to help out defensively if we lost the ball. So he had to stay out wide. He wasn't really able to contribute infield. But now with Masuaku out there doing the wing-back role, Masuaku does all that attacking down the flank. Masuaku does the helping out at the back for Cresswell. And now Fornals, as you can see, is free to just come in field and really get involved in the game, get involved in the attacks. And I think that's why now we're seeing the best of Fornals and why he's starting to impact games. Greg, Fornals was, I thought, fantastic today.
He was, and as Steve was saying there, I think he's one of the players who was probably going to lose his place. He's missed a few chances. The one during lockdown, the end of last season, I think the first game back against Wolves, he's missed a chance there. Not a difficult chance, but he's missed a few chances. But he has been putting in a shift, and he's been playing out of position as well. So he was one of my choices to actually. I know we say don't change a winning side, which from last week, I don't know. He was close to losing his place, but he played well against Wolves last week. So obviously you can't change a winning side, as I said earlier. But Fornals was one of those close to losing his place, I think. But he's putting a good shift today, and the goal, my God, it's come over him. He's done a fantastic first touch. As he got close to the goal, I thought he was going to open his body up and right foot, bottom corner. But no, good finish with his left peg. Yeah. So no, he deserves a run inside now. So today would have given him a load of confidence, that goal.
I have to hold my hands up. I've been a huge Fornals fan since he signed. I think he's got a lot of talent and a lot of ability. I think because he was being played out of position, I think that's why he wasn't. But even when he wasn't impacting games, maybe as regards goals and assists and stuff like that, and he wasn't as obvious as some of the other players, that kid works his bollocks off every single game for 90 minutes. And that's why I'm kind of going to disagree a little bit, Greg. I don't think he was losing his place, because I think Moyes loves players who run their fucking socks off, and he does that. And he was being asked to play out of position, and he was doing everything he could to the best of his ability, even though he was not suited to that role. So I think Moyes likes him a lot, and I think he's absolutely cemented his place now in this new formation, because he's playing much closer to his potential, because he's playing in a way that suits him a lot better. But I suspect Moyes is as big a fan of Fornals as I am. So I don't think. Listen, if we look at substitutions and stuff, Moyes does not trust Anderson or Lanzini one bit. Does not trust them. Doesn't even like bringing them off the bench. He's only willing to play them in cup games, just to give them a run out. So I don't think Fornals is in any danger.
Tom, what you've also got to remember is that, and it happens to the greats.
So go on, Steve.
I was about to say that you look at the greats, people like Dennis Bergkamp. He took a year to settle into the Premier League. And I'm not saying Fornals is as good as Bergkamp by no stretch, but you've got to understand. I don't think people won't realise that football in England is totally different to anywhere else, and they need that time. I do believe that they need that time, and he's had that year under his belt now, and I think you're going to see a better player because he's used to it now. You've got to give players that have played in different leagues. You've got to give them time. The Spanish league is very, very technical. You don't get the same amount of physical contact you do over here, and it takes time to get used to that.
Yeah, and actually, while we're on the subject of Fornals, it brings us to our third goal. Really good play from him again. We actually had the ball in our own backline, and Declan Rice did a beautiful little jink and popped the ball through to Fornals, who ran towards the centre of the field. Bowen was making a run down that inside right channel, same as he did against Wolves. If you remember when Fornals put him through against Wolves, it was in that same kind of area. And he just waited and waited, and then let go a perfectly timed pass between the centre-back and the full-back, put Bowen clean through. I knew as soon as that ball went through to Bowen and he was one-on-one with Schmeichel that this was 3-0. Bowen's finishing is superb, and he finished in much the same fashion as he did against Wolves. Very calmly, just slotted the ball past the keeper inside that far post, give him no chance. And that was another really, really good goal, Greg.
It was, yeah. Great move. And as you say, once Bowen got the ball on the edge of the box, there was only one place that ball was going to end up in. That was the back of the onion bag. Yeah, great finish. And he's playing well, Bowen. 2 goals last week. He's on fire at the moment, not just through goals, but I think he's playing well. He's putting in a shift. But we knew that when we bought him, and obviously when we're seeing him play now in a West Ham shirt, he actually puts in a shift for you. And as I said at the start of the programme, he's putting a shift for West Ham fans, and he'll back you all the way. No, he's playing well, and it's a great move. Great move.
Great, Steve. Really good goal, that.
Tremendous. I mean, the way he finishes is sort of like similar to how Kenny Dalglish used to finish when I was watching football as a kid. You know, it's sort of like that curled finish round the keeper, and, you know, instead of just blasting it. I just think he's such a talent. He's such a talent. You know, his work rate's phenomenal. It's just, you know, and he can finish. I think he's, again, you know, Antonio to a more extent, but I think Jared's one of those that, you know, again, maybe, you know, he could be looking at the England squad. You know, I think he's a lively contender.
Yeah, and again, just Leicester Fan TV in the comments there. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate that comment. It was a surprise result for many of us. Some of us feared the worst because, you know, Leicester, let's be honest, are a top team. They got some really great players in there. So thanks for the comment. That's appreciated. But yeah, I think as well, guys, that when it comes to Bowen, I know this season I was looking for him to add more goals to his game. And in the same way that I think this formation has freed up Fornals to get involved in the attacks, I think it's done exactly the same for Bowen. Because now he's got whoever it is out there. Today it was Sofal. But whoever it is as the wing back on the right, he's got that player there. There's the right centre back, which today was Balbuena. So it allows Bowen as well to not worry as much about his defensive duties, and he can come in field. He can get involved in the attacks. He can make those runs between the centre back and full back, and he can try and go and get some goals. We've seen it now. He's got 2 against Wolves. He got another one today. So I think Bowen is going to handily get into double figures this season.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if he didn't. I'd be surprised if he didn't. 10 to 12 goals from Bowen. I'd have that all day long. You mentioned in Balbuena there, Tommy. It was fortunate, or unfortunate for Diop, that obviously 2 weeks ago he had to leave the squad against Hull. And Balbuena's come in. And I think Balbuena hasn't put 1 foot wrong. I think he's been superb. I know it's only been 3 games he's played, but 2 of those were clean sheets. One against Hull. But 2 league games, we've not conceded a goal. I think Balbuena's played well. And as we said earlier, we don't think he can change the winning side. And I think if Balbuena plays as he can, and we know he can, I think he's going to have a little bit of a run inside now. And Diop's going to have a bit of trouble getting his place back. But it was unfortunate that he lost his place. But that's
actually something I was going to bring up. It's a question that I wanted to put to both of you because I think this is going to be interesting now. As you say, Diop has been the preferred choice of Moyes as that right centre back. Moyes didn't seem to really trust Balbuena or didn't rate him or whatever it was. But do you think in these last couple of games that Balbuena may have changed David Moyes' mind about him completely?
No, go on, Steve.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so because from what I read today, they're after another centre half called Jonathan Tah, who's a German international, plays for Leverkusen. I think Ogbona's, you know, he's one of the first names on the team sheet for me, especially after today. But I don't think Diop and Balbuena, you know, I don't think they've put on a lot of consistent performances over a period of time. And I think we need another strong leader next to Oggy. Likes of Diop and Balbuena don't really strike me as leaders. You know, I like my centre halves to put their heads where people wouldn't put their boots. So I think we need a real leader there. So you know, we've been linked with this Jonathan Tah. It'd be interesting to see whether we get him tomorrow. But yeah, I'd like another dominant centre half. Really, I've got to be honest. Balbuena for me, yeah, he has played well last couple of games, but it's an area that I would look to strengthen definitely. And it's I don't think I think
So you don't
Issa's
think-
dropped off. I think Issa's dropped off.
So you don't think Moyes will have been moved at all by two really good performances by Balbuena? You think he's still going to go ahead?
I don't. No, I don't. Not by judging what I read today. From what I read today, they're after Jonathan Tah. I know that I watch a bit of German football, and I know he's an international. He's played for them, so yeah. I mean, if they're looking to get him, let's get him in.
Okay, Tim is in with his. I knew this was coming. Tim is in. We all know what Tim wants. He's Tompkins' biggest fan. Loves Tompkins. Always have, always will. So I knew that one was coming, Tim. But sorry, buddy, I wouldn't hold my breath. So Rupert, you made it. Welcome.
Hi, Tommy. You alright?
Not too bad now.
What have
I
I
don't know
missed?
if you've heard a lot of rubbish, to be honest.
Greg.
No, but so I'll ask you.
Cheers,
This,
Rupes.
I'll ask you the same question, Rupert. That I've just put to the boys here. In that Moyes, we know, has not been a fan of Balbuena, and he was looking to sell him really if he could get a bid in for him. But do you think two very, very solid performances in a row now against Wolves and Leicester by Balbuena might just give Moyes a rethink on his feelings about Balbuena as a centre-back?
I hope he does, because I've always been a fan of him since day one. He's had some bad games, obviously. It took him a lot of time to settle in. But now, since Moyes not been there, he's been brilliant. Is he the problem? But on a whole, I like the player. Keep him.
Yeah, I've always quite liked him. I don't. Yeah, of course, he's made a couple of mistakes, but it's not. Let's not pretend Diop hasn't. I think he's probably made more mistakes, Diop. But I like Balbuena. I think in that system, again, I think Balbuena's fine. And we've seen the last couple of games against very good sides who have a lot of attacking talent. Balbuena wasn't found wanting, at any time. So, look, ultimately, it still comes down to what the manager thinks. But, I've always liked Balbuena. I don't think he's a terrible centre-back by any means.
No, not at all.
But,
We've had work.
But, yeah, but I think, we have to talk as well about just the overall performance. And what was really impressive to me was the discipline. I can't think of a single mistake that any player made that cost us a goal or almost cost us a goal, where you had your hands on like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't remember a single moment there where I'm saying, what the fuck are you doing? And I usually do that multiple times in a game with West Ham. But today, I thought that performance was almost flawless.
Well, I did, Tommy. I had one of those moments, and somebody just commented there. I think it's from down under, Neil. I think when he put when Balbuena had the header, it's almost gone out like he thought he was he was scoring for us or something. He was defending, but it looked. And I was at the camera sitting there watching. He went, "Where the fuck's that ball gone?" I went, "It's like he's got a fucking 50p head. It's gone right over there in the corner." And I thought, hang on a minute. But that's the only time, no. But I know what you mean. No, we didn't have one of those moments where we was going, moaning and all that. I was comfortable today watching that.
Yeah.
I loved it. That's the best I've seen him play as a whole 11 players coherent all the time for ages, for years and years. They've been brilliant. Keep it up.
Yeah. Just saying that though, Roots, apart from the Newcastle game in the league, we played well at Arsenal. Should have got something there, but if you don't take your chances, and you don't take your chances, and you can see the late ones, you don't deserve nothing. Don't matter how many chances you have. And then last week we demolished Wolves, and today we've demolished Leicester in their own backyard. So all this people saying we get no points out of the first 7 games and all that, I think they're eating humble pie tonight.
And I'm one of them.
I mean, obviously, when you look at the fixture list, if someone had said to you before these games, the Wolves game is going to be a 4-0 and the Leicester game is going to be a 3-0, you'd be thinking we're going to get fucking tonked in both games. You know, you
I've
wouldn't have
taken
put them
the joy out
down
of
as
both of those, to be honest.
4. Yeah, exactly. If we'd have got 2 points out of these games, we'd have been saying, "Fucking, that's all right." That, you know.
Yeah.
So you know, it just begs the question now. You know, can we keep this going? Because today, really, I mean, it's just an incredible stat. How many teams are going to go to the King Power this season and not let Leicester get a single shot on target? I mean, I'm going to talk about this guy now. I was going to do all this maybe later in the show, talk about players, but I'm sorry, we've got to talk about Ogbonna. That guy is a fucking one-man wall. I mean, he pocketed Verdi today. Absolutely pocketed him. And even when it wasn't Verdi he was dealing with, balls coming into box, he's clearing them. At one point, one of the Leicester wingers was trying to cut a ball back across the goal line from the dead ball line. He slid in. The guy cut it back on his other foot. But Ogbonna was up like that, and then blocked his attempted cross with his other foot and put it out for a corner. I just watching him today was just it was just a fucking exhibition in how to play a centre back.
It was. I mean, I can't see why he can't be left out of the team. It was fantastic today, and I just hope they stick to the same team and see what happens. I just don't want to see him dropping players. I mean, I'm not being funny. Noble is past it. Don't bring him back in. I thought
Look how well we played today.
bit.
Quick counter. Sorry, Root. Sorry, quick counter attack today. You talk about Noble. Look how quick we was getting forward. If that had been Noble, would have held the play up, gone sideways, and all that. Leicester would have got men behind the ball. We demolished Leicester today.
He goes backwards, Greg.
Yeah,
he goes backwards.
We demolished Leicester today because we didn't have Noble in the side. I know there's Noble fans out there. He's done well for us, but there comes a time. What's that, Steve?
Well, no, I just totally agree with you. I mean, you know, we've had chats on social media about this, and you know, if you look at the modern football now, every midfield player is big. They're athletes. They're quick. They're powerful. You know, and they're all the things that, God bless him, he ain't. And it's just one of these areas that we've just needed strengthening since time began, really. You know, and we look better today. And you know, I respect Noble. 500 games, who can't? But you know, we've got to move on. And going back to Oggy, you know, he's back in the Italian squad. The Italian squad got picked this week. He's back in it. You know, when you've learned to defend at Juventus, you're not a mug. And I think we've found the system that suits him. We've found the system that suits him. So again, just let's keep with that system.
Yeah, I mean, just your thoughts on Ogbonna today, Greg?
Well, just echoing what Steve said, really. He's been called up for the Italian squad. To me, that's been long overdue, to be honest with you. He'd have been he was my Ham of the Year last year. I thought he was superb last year. He just, you know, couple of years ago, if we'd have got rid of him, I wouldn't have been surprised. But the last couple of years, I think he's put in some superb performances, and he gets better all the time. And he's an absolute beast at the back there. And I'll say he's called up for the Italians. It's well deserved, long overdue, and hopefully he stays with us and waiting to, move on. But he's been superb the last couple of years. He's one of the first names on the team sheet, I think.
Yeah, I couldn't believe he didn't get a call up at any point last year. I mean, he was doing this last year all season. You know, even when we were struggling badly, you know, when the team was playing absolute shit, getting beaten every week, Ogbonna was still that player that was in there, like just being fucking superb. So I'm delighted for him that he got the call up. You could see the commentator today even just stopped saying his name. He was like, I'm not even going to say it. You know who just cleared that ball. He's like, because he felt like he was just repeating himself constantly. It's Ogbonna's there. Ogbonna clears, intercepted by Ogbonna, blocked by Ogbonna. It's like, he was just immense. So I'm delighted for him that he's got his call up. But
Way overdue. Way overdue.
yeah, I mean,
Sorry, Root.
yeah,
I said way overdue.
What, he's called
yeah,
up?
and
Getting
yeah,
his cap.
Yeah.
And look, we've spoken about most players now at this point, but we have to talk about the midfield. Got to talk about Rice and Souček, who I thought were brilliant today, both of them. Leicester tried and tried and tried numerous times to go down the centre and play their pretty little passes and their little 1-2s and all this, trying to find a way through. And they came up against an absolute wall in Rice and Souček. So they were absolutely magnificent today, Steve.
Well, yeah, and it just harps on to my point I just made earlier that the modern midfield is about athletes and it's about power, and that's what you need. If you don't have it, you're going to lose football matches, because most matches, in fact, all matches, are really won and lost in midfield. So if you're not dominating that area, if you haven't got that physical presence, you're going to end up getting beat. And we've been crying out for this for ages. Pace and power in the middle of the pitch. Now we've got it, and long may it continue that we keep winning.
Yeah, and I mean, we hear about, obviously Brendan Rodgers is a very highly rated manager, and he is a good manager, Rodgers. I think he's a very good manager, and he's doing an excellent job at Leicester. But I think honestly, he didn't know what to do today to put a stop to what we were doing. He tried a couple of subs, didn't really have much impact. I thought tactically, we have to say, David Moyes got it spot on again this week. Leicester had no answer to what we were doing, none whatsoever. And like you said, Greg, like at 2-0 in the second half, even though there was still a good half an hour left to play, I felt comfortable. It didn't feel to me like a game where, oh, Chris, we're going to fuck this up, aren't we? We're going to end up conceding 2 stupid goals or 3 stupid goals, and we're going to fuck this up. As we've often felt, you never feel comfortable as a West Ham fan, even in the lead, as we found out, because we dropped more points from winning positions last season than any other side.
24
but today
points.
didn't feel like that. Yeah, today didn't feel like that. I felt absolutely comfortable at 2-0 with 30 minutes to go. That not only are we going to see this out, but if there's another goal, we're going to get it.
But normally, we could be 2-3-0 up with 10 minutes ago, and I'm still not comfortable. I know it sounds silly, but I'm not. And that's just the way it is, being a West Ham fan. But, we need to take our chances, and today, luckily, we did. I said to Cameron, I said, if we get a third one, I said, they'll fall to pieces. We can go and get 4 or 5 here. Obviously, it didn't happen, but they were there for the taking today. That was a nice, easy afternoon, I tell you. Nice, comfortable afternoon watching West Ham, and I loved it.
Yeah, I think once we were 3-0 up, I think after we went 3-0 up, I think we kind of decided, right, that's us. We're just going to make sure now we keep it tight, don't defend, don't let them back in it.
Yeah, but say keep it tight, Tommy, but why? You say keep it tight, sorry for interrupting, but why not go for the jugular? Go and get 4, 5, 6, you know what I mean? Look at Tottenham. 4-1 up at half-time at Old Trafford today. They got a 5th. I don't know the latest now, but go for the jugular.
6-1, they won.
There you go.
6-1.
You know what I mean?
Oh no, philosophically, I agree with you, Greg. I'm just talking about what we actually saw happen. I think the team did settle at that point. It may have something to do with the fact they'd just done so much running. Maybe they were starting to feel it a little bit. But I mean, just a tremendous performance. So I'll go around you guys, because I want to find out, because obviously, look, there were a lot of very good performances from individual players. We've spoken about a number of them already. I'll just go around and just individually get from you who your man of the match was today and why. Rupert, who did you have as your man of the match?
I'm sorry to say, Declan Rice. He was awesome today. It was everywhere. And I'm worried that he's going tomorrow. I really am worried. I think he's playing for another club. I hope not, but I'm just praying. Now he's got the captain's armband. Hopefully, he's got more responsibility. Hopefully, that will keep him there. But money talks. I'm sorry to
Yeah,
say.
I think we'll be all right tomorrow. I think we'll be
I
fine.
hope so.
Um,
I really do.
fuck it. I mean, come on. I mean, if the club gets a bid tomorrow, surely the answer is, are you having a fucking laugh? Deadline day, you're coming making a bid. Should have been here
You-
at least a week ago with a bid. if
You know
wanted
our,
him.
you know our
Yeah.
board, you know our board though, Tommy. Would it surprise you if they accepted it? I personally think he'll stay tomorrow, but I think he will eventually move on probably at the end of the season. But if our board accepts an offer tomorrow, Tommy, would you be surprised? Because I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
I would.
I think, as I said, I think we'll keep him tomorrow.
Even for
What do you
our
say?
board, I think a bid coming in tomorrow, I think they would say no. Well, you have fucking
Well,
it's
I
deadline
think-
day. What are you doing?
I think, to be fair, I think it's in Sullivan's best interest that he keeps him tomorrow. Regardless of whatever bid comes in, he has to keep him. Because if he doesn't, the situation is going to be a lot worse than it already is for him. And it's very bad as we sit here today. You know, I'm very pleased that, West Ham, I love West Ham, very much. And I'm very pleased that we won today. I'm very pleased we won last week. But it doesn't change the situation one bit. You know, things have to change at the top. And I think if they do decide to take an offer for Deck tomorrow, it's just going to pour petrol on the flames. I actually think that Deck can do a lot better than Chelsea. I think Deck could easily walk into any of the bigger clubs that play in the Champions League than Chelsea. I think he's that good. But today, my man of the match would have been Ogbonna, because it's just an absolute defensive rock. He was the foundation for that today. And Oggy for me.
Greg, who would you give your man of the match to?
You can't argue with either choice. Stephen Roots. This might be a bit of a surprise. I'm going to go for 4 nows. Just. I thought we put in an absolute shift today. But, Rice, I won't complain with. Ogbonna. As I said before, they all put in a shift today. But I'm just going to give it fractionally to 4 nows. I thought that's going to give him a lot of confidence to that goal and his performance as well. So, 4 nows just.
Yeah, I was kind of split between Oggy and Fornals. Obviously, look, a lot of players had very good games, and some of them were standout performances. But it's nice when you're asking who was man of the match, when you're talking about 5 and 6 players that that potentially could get it. You've had a good day. I came down to Fornals and Ogbonna. I was kind of humming and hawing between the two. But despite the fact I'm a huge Fornals fan and I think he had a brilliant day, I was actually blown away by Ogbonna today. Just blown away. I mean, that's as good a centre back performance as you'll see anywhere. Just absolutely incredible. So I would go. So we've got a few different answers. Have we got? Who did you say, Steve?
Ogbonna.
Yeah, so we've got 2 Ogbonnas, we've got 1 Fornals, we've got 1 Rice. Someone else could have said Antonio. There was a few players that really. So the next thing we're going to come on to now, because this is a comment from Matthew Howard, and I think it's something that would be interesting. So in case anybody can't see it, it says, yes, I would change managers as I think Moyes is a dinosaur, same as the owners. Moyes is going to be a bit of a subject now because, I think there's real mixed feelings. I mean, he's earned some credit these last couple of games, hasn't he? There's a lot of people might be saying, fuck it, maybe I'm wrong about Moyes. Those last 2 performances were actually brilliant, and maybe he's getting it right now, and maybe we should hang on here a minute before we start talking about Moyes out.
We played better since he's not been there, in my opinion.
What's that, Roots? I didn't catch that.
I said we played better since Moyes had been away from the pitch.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Keep him away.
Yeah.
So you're Moyes out, Rupert?
I've never been a fan of him. I wouldn't lose any sleep if he does go. I really don't. I think he is, as Matthew said, he is a dinosaur. We need some fresh ideas, fresh face, preferably a younger one, a younger manager.
Yeah. I mean, I think, it would be difficult to get a big name in maybe at this point, but yeah, I mean, like, who would you be looking at, Rupert, really, ideally? Realistically.
Realistically,
Matlock Town's manager.
I've been a fan of Eddie Howe. I know he might be a bit young. Give him a chance. I know you're not. I know you're disagreeing, Steve.
Massively.
Yeah. Why not? He's available.
Because
we need someone to stand up for the ball.
The reason why I don't like Howe is I think he's very comfortable in his own comfort zone of Bournemouth. I think he tried it. He tried he tried leaving Bournemouth, going to a different club, different part of the country. Didn't work. Didn't like it. So he went back to his comfort blanket. That's no good to a club like West Ham. You need a strong manager that can put up with the demands of a support that wants things a certain way. And the first thing they've got to do is they've got to put sweat on the badge. And I just don't think that Howe is a type of guy that can relay that message. So no, not for me. And I know that's not a popular opinion amongst West Ham supporters. They would like Eddie Howe, but no, not for me. Because, as I said, he left his comfort blanket, didn't like it, and then he wanted to come back.
So, Steve, just as regards Moyes himself, what are your feelings on Moyes right now?
My feelings are that David Moyes is a perfect manager for Sullivan. I think Sullivan thinks that he's his guarantee to keep him in that league until he's in a position to sell the football club. Everything at West Ham, for me, everything that's wrong and negative about the football club goes back to David Sullivan. The problems that we have is that we don't have a plan. We don't have a vision. We don't have. You look at Tottenham Hotspur, for example. As much as we all dislike them, they had a plan. They backed their manager for 5 years, and they were very, very close to winning the biggest trophy of them all. What we have to do is we have to employ a younger man, give him that time, give him 5 years, and have a plan. Give us something that we can see going forward. Because all we do is we lurch from one crisis to another crisis to another crisis. And all Moyes is doing, he's doing a very good job at the moment, but they're not his players. They're Pellegrini's players. They're Bilic's players. And that's the problem that we have. Unless you have a younger man and you give him a lot of time to build a team, but unfortunately that will never happen because we have an interfering owner who thinks he's a football expert. So these things will never, ever change unless David Sullivan does the right thing and puts the club up for sale.
Greg, Moyes in or Moyes out?
It's a bit awkward at the moment because obviously we've had a few good results. We've only lost 1 out of 4 league games. If push comes to shove, I'm not a Moyes fan. No, the people that know me know that. He is a dinosaur manager. As I say, the form we've shown the last 2 games. It's too early in the season, but obviously if there's a change of fortunes and we was like down the bottom again and all that, I think his job's in jeopardy. But at the moment, I think he's safe for a little while. But how long, we don't know. As Steve was saying there with the board. I'm a Moyes out man. But let's see in 2 or 3 months' time, let's say Christmas. If we're struggling around Christmas time, like it was Pellegrini last year, I think he'll be out.
Yeah, and of course it will be cheap. The difference this time, of course, is it will actually be very cheap to do it. Whereas the board were hanging on and hanging on and hanging on with Pellegrini because they knew the payout was going to be big. With Moyes, the payout is very small, so they'll have no problem, I suspect, pulling the trigger if they feel they need to on this one.
We all know Moyes is a yes man anyway. It was the easy option, easy choice for them to get him back. So it's a catch-22 with Moyes for me at the moment. Obviously, we can't get rid of him now, but as I say, around Christmas time, if we're struggling, he'll probably be facing the bullet. But in saying that, carrying on as we are, I wouldn't be complaining.
Yeah, I mean,
she's just right.
He's got it right.
Yeah,
The geezer's got it right now.
Yeah, he does have a point. Look, we've got to have some stability at the club.
Yeah.
Now, look, I'm not exactly a Moyes fanboy either. You know, I have my reservations about Moyes, to say the least. But I think he did deserve to be given a chance to start this season. You know, he came in the first time. He did what was asked of him. Okay, it wasn't always pretty. You know, there were some ugly games there, some bad losses, but he kept us up. And then he got jettisoned, and the board took on Pellegrini, and then Pellegrini doesn't work out. They bring Moyes back and say, "Oh, sorry, but can you save us again, please?" And he does it again. You know, he does what was asked of him again. And I think if you'd have jettisoned him again, I think that just would have been basically a shit thing to do, really. You know, I mean, I believe in fucking treating people right. You know what I mean? And I don't think it would have been right to just fuck him off again after he'd saved us again. You know, I think he did deserve to start this season as our manager. And as you said, Greg, you know, we've played the 4 games. We've lost 1. You know, sorry, we've lost the 2. But like I said, the only bad performance was the Newcastle one, the opening day. That was poor. But we kind of lost the game against Arsenal. We should have, at the very least, got a point out of that game. You know, if not a win.
My apologies there. Sorry, my apologies. I said we'd lost 1. You're right there. We lost 2, but we played so well in that Arsenal game. It didn't even seem like it.
Yeah, we shouldn't have lost that game. Yeah, and now we've put in 2 really huge performances. How many teams are going to beat Wolves 4-0 and Leicester 3-0 this season? How many times are Wolves going to lose 4-0 this season? Very, very few. And Leicester, how many times will they get turned over 3-0? Not very many either, I suspect. So those are great results. So I think Moyes has some credit in the bag now. And, you know, fingers crossed going forward. Look, we've got the international break now. I mean, if he goes out and beats Tottenham away, I mean, you know, he's definitely going to get a lot of credit with fans.
Indeed.
Oh, there, we seem to have lost him. I think he dropped his phone or something.
God knows.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, I think the international break is going to be good for us guys, actually. As you saw, the work rate in these last 2 games against Wolves and Leicester, I mean, the players have run themselves into the ground. I mean, they work so hard for each other and for the team. And, you know, I think having a little bit of time to put their feet up a little bit will do them the world of good. And, you know, hopefully now we come into that Tottenham game, you know, Antonio's going to be so well rested. All the players, really. There might be the odd exception. We'll see if Declan Rice plays. But the vast majority of our players are going to be really well rested. And well, we can have a right fucking go at Tottenham.
You got a good point there. Very good point. I hope,
sorry, Rhodes, go on, sorry.
I just hope they take note, get well rested, and have a good few training sessions on the pitch. And then Wallet, give Tottenham a good fucking. Can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Steve!
Sorry, I don't know what happened there.
Electric meter.
Oh, you're back now. So.
Yeah, something like that. I ain't paid the bill route, but you know what I mean?
Get Greg to pay up.
The clue is when you see the letters with the, you know, with the red writing, that's when you pay it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take your advice. Yeah.
No, we were just talking about the upcoming game now with Tottenham. That you know, we're going to be going into that now, Steve, with a lot of optimism and some confidence that we can get a result there as well. Especially as we're going to have a lot of well-rested players now with this international break.
Yeah, and you know, it's always a one-off match, always a one-off game. We always raise our game. Well, most of the time we raise our game when we go there. We always take a good, loud vocal support. Unfortunately, we can't do that now. But I don't see what's the fear. You know, we just go there and give it our best shot. See how we go.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there are certain games where even if we're playing shit, that we tend to turn up. No matter how we're playing, we tend to turn up against Chelsea for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Tottenham. We tend to turn up against Tottenham, even if we're playing poorly, if our form is really bad. So, you know, hopefully keep that going. And with the confidence in the team now, Hopefully, Antonio will just absolutely fucking bully them for 90 minutes again, and to get a result at their place again would just be fucking brilliant. But I'm confident now going into games. You look at this run of 6 games we've got. They're a really, really tough run of games, and I have to say, I really feared the worst. Because obviously we lost against Newcastle in the opening game, which you felt was almost a 6-pointer, because you think, fuck it, we need to get something on the board in this one, because you didn't really see where the points were coming after that for a while.
That's West Ham for
like
you, though,
say,
isn't it?
Yeah, and like I say, the Arsenal game then, we were frustrated because we played really well and shouldn't have lost it. And then we've backed that up with 2 great performances and turned over Wolves and Leicester, which I think even the most optimistic West Ham fans surely didn't think we were going to get 6 points there, did they?
No, not so. Not so.
Yeah, so hopefully now we can go to Tottenham and fucking turn them over, because that would mean a lot to our fans. That there's no team I love beating more than fucking Tottenham, because their fans are fucking obnoxious. We're gonna have their fans on Twitter now for 2 weeks talking about, oh, this is your fucking cup final, this is your cup final. It's like, fuck off. It's a London derby. We can't stand you fucking cunts. And yeah, if we beat you, we're gonna be fucking dancing in the streets. So fuck you. Yeah, it means something to us because you're cunts.
I might dance in the streets. I might dance in the streets of Great Dunmow in my green mankini.
Oh, I've heard about that bugger.
Make sure it's a West Ham one and has, like fuck Tottenham on the back or something.
What a horrible thought. I've just had
All right, chaps. Just going to get your overall thoughts, though, on today's game. Just a basic overview of how you're feeling about today, Steve.
I'm delighted that we've won. They look organised. We look organised, and we look like we've got real attacking threat when we go forward. It's not often you see a West Ham team in my time when you going feeling confident that they're going to score. But today you're confident they're going to score, and yeah, Moyes has got to take great credit for that. I do think, we have won our last 2 games against 2 very good teams. I just think, this might not be a popular opinion, but I just think that sometimes the crowd's not being there. You see more mistakes in games, and I think there's just a lack of intensity. I still think they've got that training ground feel to them, but you know what? 6 points after the last 2 games. I'm happy. You take it. You move on.
Rupert.
Well, I thought the whole 11 players played brilliantly today. I was over the moon. And the team itself was they're just fantastic. I don't think there's just one. No, there's no mistake at all. I don't think of any of the players who did today. Not one mistake. I can't think of any. And this is the first time in years I thought the whole team played as a team, helped each other out from the back right up to the front. And it was a joy to watch. May it continue.
Greg.
Yeah, as Steve alluded there, it was good to watch, and it was we looked an absolute threat going forward all the time. I thought Rice was unlucky with that run where he's hit the underside of the bar. As I say, we looked good going forward. And as we said earlier, felt comfortable watching the game, didn't feel nervous, we're going to concede or nothing. I thought we looked absolutely fantastic today. And as I say, going forward all the time, I was expecting a goal all the time. That's how confident I was and how good we was playing. So, brilliant. If you'd have offered me a 1-0 win today or a draw, I'd have taken it. But to win by 3 clear goals at Leicester, and as you said earlier, Tommy, Leicester didn't have a shot on target, and that's superb. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to go there this season and have the same record as that of Leicester not having any chances. That was brilliant today. Fully deserved.
Have these last two games, have they changed your expectations for the season?
No. No.
I suppose I should ask Steve, what were your expectations, and obviously still are? I mean, what do you think is going to be like for us?
My expectations are just to stay in the league because of the owners that we've got. They're not interested in anything that we want, which is ambition, which is going for Europe, having a bit of glory in the cup. They're not interested in that. They just want to stay in the league. And I think for us, I think we've got to be realistic. That's got to be our ultimate goal this year. And it kills me to say that, but I just generally think that's where we are.
I'll be
So
happy.
you still think this season's going to be a bit of a struggle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see us finishing 14th and 15th. And again, I mean, I'm already looking at other results, and West Brom are losing. I'm thinking good. Fulham are losing, good. You're just banking on 3 being worse than us again, and it's not good enough for a club like us. It really isn't. And again, that boils down to Sullivan. I'm sorry, keep on repeating myself, but that's how I feel.
Would a signing change any minds tomorrow? Would a good signing tomorrow on deadline day, or even after it, let's say we take Joe Rodden, centre back from Swansea.
I think we need, as I said earlier on, dominant centre half. Dominant centre half we need.
That would change your mind maybe a little bit about, maybe be a bit more optimistic about the season if we did make a really good centre back signing.
No, I still want
not really. Not really.
I'm not talking about GSB out here. I'm completely GSB out. That won't change because of we have a bit of a better season than we expected. I'm just mean purely on the pitch. Do you think are you not at all optimistic at all about the season more than you were a couple of weeks ago?
I'll worry if we get a knock to Antonio. I really do. I think that's if Antonio's hamstrings pop, I think we've got issues. I think we've got big problems.
Any injuries we get will be a problem.
Yeah,
we haven't got the backup.
No,
this is our strongest team.
Yeah,
in my opinion. Get one player out, even 2. That's it. We're fucked.
Yeah,
we're going to struggle.
Yeah. Greg, have your opinions changed at all after the last couple of results?
Not really. Not really. You all right there, Steve?
He's having a heart attack or a seizure? Is
no.
he thrashing around?
I never thought we'd go down anyway. People were saying, "Oh yeah, 17th." They'll be happy with that. I won't be. Well, obviously, it'll keep us in the league, but we've got to be looking to do far better than that, rather than just stay in the league. Obviously, the League Cup is now gone. The FA Cup ain't till the first week of January, so we've got 3 months now to push on and worry about the cup when it comes round. Obviously, we'll see if he takes it seriously. But no, my expectations. I said at the start of the season, between 8th and 10th. People laughed at me on here, but I'm sticking with that. The way if we carry on playing like we can. Obviously, the West Ham way, we're going to have a few silly results, strange results, but I'll say still between 8th and 10th.
Yeah, I think I was quite pessimistic at the start of the season. I'm not completely over that, but the last couple of games, this change in formation is really working. Players who I thought were real liabilities, the likes of Cresswell, and on the other side, Fredericks, who actually played very well before going off injured.
Yeah.
That seems to be suiting him as well as a wing back rather than a right back. Certain players that I thought we weren't getting the best out of, which was Bowen and Fornals, because I thought they were just not in the right position. And players who were liabilities, as I say, the likes of Fredericks and Cresswell, and all that seems to be gone now because the new formation has just completely changed the dynamic of the team. And we've got to, let's not underestimate these results, gentlemen. Anyone who beats Wolves 4-0 has played fucking well. And equally, anyone who's beaten Leicester 3-0 has had a great game. So, I have to say my optimism levels have gone up a bit. Now, I'm not one to get carried away. But certainly I'm more optimistic now than I was a couple of weeks ago, no question.
Yeah, where do you think we finished? where do you think we finished, Tommy? Or where did you think we finished before the last 2 games? And where do you think we finished now? Is it the same place?
Before the last, yeah. No, this was. I always had an asterisk on it because the transfer window still had some time to go, and I don't like to predict too much before the close of the window. But I was very pessimistic. I was thinking we would be in or around where we were last season, and possibly even get relegated. I really thought it was going to be that bad. I'm not completely convinced otherwise yet, but like I say, these last couple of games, the new formation, there's definitely a pickup in performances, and those are 2 brilliant results. So that's given me a little pause to think, maybe we can actually do a bit better than I thought. But the way we were playing, in the formation we were using, with the personnel we had on the pitch, don't forget, we conceded was a 63 goals last season. We were just conceding far too many goals. Nothing had really happened to convince me that would change until now. He's swapped up the formation. We've got this new lad in who had a really good debut today. Fredericks is a different player, playing as a left-sided centre-back. Masuaku, all of a sudden, is a player. Is doing really well, Masuaku. We haven't mentioned him. I thought he was super today and had a really great game against Wolves as well. He looks like a new signing. Just because we've moved him from left back where he can't play into a wing back position where he just thrives. So yeah, it's all changed a bit now. So I'm definitely having to rethink. Like I said, I don't want to get carried away, but I'm definitely feeling more optimistic now than a couple of weeks ago. So it is. I don't know if the 8th to 10th. I wouldn't go that far, Greg, to be honest. Yet it would take a good few more games to get me there. But certainly, I'm starting to feel like we shouldn't be looking over our shoulders.
There's a fair few teams that are worse off than us, so that's why I feel more confident this season.
You asked the same question.
Chef U have got the second season syndrome, I think. 4 defeats on the spin. Fulham, called it Paddy Power. They're gone anyway. Can I just say, Tom?
Sorry, go on.
I've just written down, before the start of the show, and I've just received a text from my posh friend in Biddenham, Darren Finch. He wants to know what your feelings are. Sorry for jumping in like this. He wants to know what your feelings are on the players kneeling before the game. Should it carry on? Should it stop now? My personal opinion is it should stop now. We've all got the message. Sorry for jumping in with that, but that's from my posh friend Darren Finch.
Posh Darren, okay. I don't like it. Sorry?
I'm just talking to Greg. I thought I was your posh bloke, wasn't I?
Yeah, no, yeah. You're me posh bloke posh mate from Matlock. I'm on about me posh mate from Biddenham, yeah.
Where the bloody hell's that?
Bedfordshire.
Are you sure, Google Map?
Yeah, I'm sure. Go on, Tommy. Go on. Sorry if I was rudely interrupted by Rupert the Roll there.
You're fine. I actually would take pretty much the same line as Les Ferdinand at QPR. He put a stop to it. He said, look, this is just virtue signalling now. It's just empty gestures, regardless of what side of the fence you're on with the whole BLM thing. The whole kneeling. I mean, they kneel for about 5 seconds, pop back up, get on with the game. It's a pointless, meaningless gesture. It doesn't really mean anything. I just don't see what anyone is getting out of it at this point. So I would put a stop to it. I just don't see what's the benefit. What does it do, really, for anyone at this point? Because if you can overplay things, the kneeling literally just doesn't mean anything to anyone now. It's just something the players do every time. They kneel for 5 seconds, they get up to play the game. The kneeling, no one even notices probably much anymore. They took a knee. It's like, so what? You can overdo things to the point where they lose their kind of impact and meaning. And I think we're beyond that point now. So I think
some players, Tommy, and Roops, I think they're just doing it just because they feel they have to. But Anderson, he doesn't do it when he starts the game. He stands up. I know he does that prayer and all that to the skies and all that, but there's certain players that don't do it. And I think there's a few players out there that don't really want to do it, but they feel they have to. What do you think, Roots?
Yes, I do agree with you there, Greg. But I noticed today all 22 did it, and I thought, why? It's been doing that for months now. We've had enough of it. We've got your point. Move on.
It's just social pressure. They feel like if they don't do it, someone will probably be on their social media, their Instagram, their Twitter. They'll have lots of messages calling them all these names, probably calling them racists. And, you know, for some people, you know, I can understand for some people, it's like, fine, just fucking take a knee for 5 seconds, stand up, who gives a shit. You know, at least I'm not going to be getting any crap from people for not doing it. And there is a lot of social pressure involved, but I think it's outlived its usefulness. Like Les Ferdinand at QPR put a stop to it. You know, he said, "Look, this is pointless now. It's, you know, it doesn't do anything for anyone. It's just a gesture. You know, what good does it do anyone?" So there's my answer. Basically, I think I don't think it should have continued into this season, frankly.
Enough's enough.
But we have lost, obviously. I think
I'll give Steve a ring later, see what happens.
No, that's fine. But unless there's any final thoughts, chaps, I think we can pretty much wrap it up there.
Tommy, could I just mention GSB out? Is that okay?
You say what you like.
Right, Rupert, I think, he will agree on this. Obviously, because of this social distancing lark and all that now, we're only allowed to form in groups of 6. But across Hammers and Hammers United, we gather. Oh God, we gather sometimes. Well, we gather every game at the gates at Stratford. Roots comes down from Matlock in Derbyshire every game for it. Fantastic effort. Even though there's no game on, we need to get a few more people around by the gates. We do a protest there. There's no aggro, nothing like that. And we stand there. At the moment, there's about 30 of us. But when the Hammers United march done it, obviously there was games going on. But regardless of whether there's a game going on or not, pubs are still open. You still go and have a drink, but then you can make your way to the gates, protest about GSB, hold up your banners and flags like we do, and just, you know, say what you feel. And that's it. You know what I mean? Like, because there's no game on, we still get down to the gates. It's the same, like 25, 30 people at the moment. Do you want to say a quick word on it, Roots?
Yeah, well, I'm disappointed that there's 60,000 fans who come to London Stadium and not a few more can't be bothered to come to the gates. It's really disappointing. They should make an effort, at least make an effort. Just once. Once would be enough. Just to show your protest, show your feelings. As Greg said.
There's too many people, Tommy. Obviously, you're in Ireland. I wouldn't expect you to come over from Ireland just to do that and then go back home. But even people like Roots here lives about 150 miles away. But, you know, he makes an effort. It's just about, you know, getting a few more faces down there. The people like you see on Twitter, like in their like Twitter names and all that now at GSB out and in their name and all that. I'm thinking, well, I'm going to put on Twitter this morning, come down to the gates. You know, I'm not organising a protest. I wouldn't do that. But come down to the gates instead of like being on Twitter and saying, "Yeah, GSB out. Good luck to the people that go down there." No, you come down there, show your feelings. As Rupert said, even if it's for one game, and then another lug came to another game. We need new faces down here. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you letting me say that, Tom.
Yeah, no worries. Do you want to let people know of any groups you're involved with, like on Twitter and Facebook, and where they can find your group?
Well, no, you got crossedhammers.com. Look for them on Facebook and Twitter. You got Hammers United. Obviously, they're the one who've got the biggest following on there. They're doing their own bit, but we'll be there for the next game against Manchester. We'll be there for the next game, Manchester City at home. I know Roots is going to be there. So we need a few more faces down there just to, you know, put their feelings across and all that. We have a laugh outside and you it's just 3 people we were waiting for just to give a bit of abuse as they go in, but they don't like it. We've been told that by a certain policeman who runs the operations down at West Ham. We all know who he is. I've just been told he's the wanker by my missus. She knows him, but so yeah, we just need a few new faces down and all that. That's it. Thanks for letting me say it. And when it gets nearer the time, we'll put more stuff out on Twitter or Facebook and all that, and we'll come on here just to remind people. But it would be good to get a few more forward crowds start getting back there.
We need new faces.
Yeah, well, hopefully, because we need them gone. It's simple as that. We need these guys to sell up as soon as possible. Because we're a club going absolutely nowhere, and frankly, I just despise them anyway. The kind of people they are, and just the concept. They lie so easily, like it just rolls off their tongues. They don't give a shit about anyone but their own pockets. But anyway, look, fingers crossed. We can get them out by hook or by crook, one way or another. But listen, guys, I want to really.
Sorry, Tom. Do you personally think we'll get them out? I know, it's protests and all that. Obviously, once we're all allowed back over there, probably all the protests start getting much bigger and all that. And but do you personally think we'll get them out in the near future, or do you think they're waiting until people keep saying 2023 until this sell-up date or something like that they can sell up or what have you? Do you think we'll get them out? Let's say within a year.
It's hard to say because I think if they could cruise to 2023, they would do it and then sell up. But I actually think now, because of all the stick they're getting, because of the criticism, which is spilled over into the media now and into ex-players and everything, they're taking a lot of heat, and I think they're probably very fed up with it now. I mean, Sullivan did everything but fucking cry to Jim Smith, to Jim White.
Yeah.
On TalkSport, for fuck's sake, he pour mouth in it, and I'm depressed, and like he's trying to get people to feel sorry for him. He definitely feels sorry for himself. So I think the two of them are probably getting a bit fed up. And what did he say? There were what was it he said? Not being thrown under the bus. He said they were being, like they were being. What did he say? Hung out to dry. He said they were being hung out to dry. So I think they're feeling it. They're feeling the criticism because it's quite prominent now in the media, and that's when they notice it, really, when it starts hitting the media and national press or whatever. So I think if you can keep the pressure on them. Now, obviously, look, I think the COVID left them off the fucking hook big time, because it was really building.
Yeah, because we was
really building
real momentum there.
There was huge momentum building, and COVID fucking really helped them. It was a blessing for them, and it still is, because there's no crowds in that stadium. So I think if we can get back to something like that, I mean, it depends again still on the COVID thing and large gatherings and all this. Are fans going to get back in the stadium in any real numbers? Are large gatherings of protests going to be allowed anytime this year or next year? So a lot depends on how much pressure can be put on them. So it's possible to get them. I think if a bid came in, a serious bid that was the right money, then yeah, I think they would sell. I think they would sell right now if the right bid was on the table. I think they're ready to just throw their hat at it and say, "Oh, fuck this."
I think you're right there.
Because I do think they feel sorry for themselves. Yeah, I think it's sooner rather than later. I certainly wouldn't be comfortable letting them cruise to 2023. I want them out ASAP.
I've just got 2 messages on my phone here. Sorry to mention this. The posh bloke again has come through. Darren Finch from Biddenham. David Sullivan's a cunt. Can you mention that from me? Well, I've done that, but you could have done that yourself by typing it, you lazy cunt. Anyway, and then the next one, I don't know what he's on about here. Can you bog up the Swedish Hells Angels? Well, I do know what he's on about there, and I don't know why I said that. It's a standing joke between me and Finchy in a taxi driving around Rome at 2 o'clock in the morning, but that's for another day, Tommy. Really.
Fair enough. Don't use them all up in one show.
I'm not.
All right, chaps. Listen. Thank you both very, very much for joining
Cheers,
me on the
Tommy.
show tonight. It was great to hear your thoughts on the game. Really enjoyed the show.
Yes,
And
Nathan.
hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to you gentlemen again, and Steve as well, of course. I don't know, something
I'll
bad has
check. I'll
happened.
check Steve in a minute.
Check and make sure Steve's still alive when we go off air. But listen, chaps, thank you very much indeed. Thanks to everyone who was watching in the live stream and who commented in the live chat. Appreciate you all, and we'll see you back after we spanked the shit out of Tottenham in a couple of weeks. So until then, come on, you Irons.
Come on, you irons.
And in your hands.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, Greg.